Hello, everyone, and welcome to Scion of the Dark House, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition Gothic horror podcast. I have made sure to get the lines and veils of every single one of our players. So if there is something such as violence, blood, body horror, mutilation, child endangerment, or other things, please take a break if it crosses a line for you. Your support means a lot to us, but so does your mental health. So, recap on what happened last episode. You guys decided to go onto the grounds of the house. You entered the carriage house, of which you found was probably nothing until you did some investigation and found the strange way that dust was accumulating on the furniture. After deciding that Eldritch blasting it was the best idea, you found that they were all ugly, horrible creatures in disguise. After dispatching them, you headed to the graveyard and the chapel, where you found that the graveyard was full of strange undead. Upon opening a mausoleum, you found nothing inside, decided to destroy an urn that released something that you're still not sure what it was, but it drank quite a bit of blood from Arthur before you finally dispatched it. Heading back into the chapel, you found that the ground was sanctified, and underneath the altar was a crypt with a strange creature that screamed and vomited blood all over you guys. You also fought a stained glass window that seemed to have come to life to keep you from going in to the crypt. And we left off where you all had pushed the altar back and were staring down the steps into the darkness, heavily considering going after whatever it was that's down there. However, we start in a slightly different location. We start in Caliburn. So, surprise, spotlight. Bruno, you stand in the flagstoned courtyard of Keep Dragonair, the main sort of HQ of the Dragonairs, of which you are a part of. And you are going on a standard training exercise that focuses on survival, teamwork, communication, and other such things. All packed and ready, you stand in a circle with the other comrades that you are going to go on this mission with. The Archmage steps forward, has you all stand in a circle, and casts teleport. You've done these missions before. It's part of being part of the Caliburnian military. The teleportation spell takes over. The world seems to expand as if taking a breath and then snap back. And as it does, your vision goes black and you go hurtling forward through space. But this time, something feels different. As your vision goes black and you go hurtling, you feel as though you were hurtling in the wrong direction. And after the couple of seconds that it takes for the teleportation to take full effect, your vision comes back. And you find you are standing on nothing, 10 feet in the air, surrounded by gray trees, and you fall to the ground. You are fully aware that the teleportation spell has gone wrong, and none of your comrades are anywhere near you. Everybody else, as you stare down into the staircase of the crypt, you hear a strange sound, and then moments later, the sound of about 800 pots and pans hitting the ground. What would you like to do?
I'm sending Jazz to go see what the fuck was that.
All right, so as Jasmine comes outside, she does see a figure. Bruno, would you like to describe what you look like?
Excuse me. I'm shaking. I think I hurt my leg. I am a very large lizard man wearing very clean armor. And I got a big flail, a shield, and some javelins on my back. And I'm a very handsome lizard.
Of course. So you, rolling to your feet, do see a chapel that you are next to. And a big panther comes out and looks at you.
So I get a javelin off my back.
And Jasmine crouches low, growling.
Yeah, Jasmine definitely kind of transmits that, there's a person here and they're waving something at her and she does not like it.
Okay, so Arthur, kind of picking up on Jasmine's danger response, informs the party. It appears we have an uninviting guest, and he's currently threatening my Jasmine. So you guys can handle this, but I'm gonna go check that out.
You're right. No, we'll come with you.
Yeah, Percy follows you out.
Yeah, Lark's gonna float behind everybody.
So exiting the chapel is a half-elf with a bow, a fairy with monarch butterfly wings, and a plague doctor that all come out of the chapel. I am not sure if Rerek has followed.
I was gonna say something, but my thing was muted.
Oh no!
So I just stayed there and be like, what the fuck just happened? And then I follow them out there.
And moments later, you do see a very large dragonborn, gold dragonborn with a cape and a staff with a crystal ball in the end walk out as well.
So
And you are all now staring at each other outside the chapel.
Arthur's gonna ready his bow and say to Bruno, whose name he doesn't know, dispense with your weapons and state your name and purpose, or taste the sting of my arrow.
I'm not afraid of you. I can crush you like a paper cup.
Okay. I'm just gonna kind of try to push your bow down and be like, what? I think
Really?
we've gotten off to a bit of a bad start here.
And who are you?
I'd certainly say he's brandishing weapons at one of my friends.
Well, he's
Silence. I will listen to the Dragonborn. I don't trust any of you others.
Oh, wow,
That's how
okay.
this is gonna go.
You can do it, Rare.
Who are you people?
stop. I see the 4 guardian stars have become 5.
What?
I'm gonna whisper to Arthur. I'm gonna be like, his prophecies, they change at the last minute, don't they?
That's why it took me a minute to get out.
Would I have the knowledge that Lizardfolk would probably be from Caliburn?
Lizardfolk all over.
They're from all over. There's probably some in Gothia. There's probably not any in Rusa because of how cold it is, but definitely like Gothia and south, there's lizard people in every country.
Am I too different from a kobold?
But you definitely would see from the style of armor as well as other sigils and things that he's wearing, it's definitely Caliburnian.
Sure. You're from Caliburn. How did you end up all the way here, my friend?
Well, how do you know I'm from Caliburn?
Well, sort of all over you.
I did not give you permission to look at my armor.
Wow, all right.
Wow, this guy's an asshole.
Lot to unpack here.
Can I just shoot him, please?
I'll throw a javelin through your wing.
Clearly from the Caliburnian military. We can't just kill a soldier.
We don't show mercy in the Caliburnian military. Now you tell me who you are, what you're doing here, and what I'm doing here.
Well, this is my house, so...
Perhaps you should be answering that question since you arrived with entirely no invitation.
I'm not sure. It was a Caliburnian military exercise. I think there was a mistake. But that's none of your business, regardless.
You invading?
Can I cast what's the thing that I do? Magic. Detect magic
Detect magic.
on him. Poof, whatever.
Happen.
Sure, if you're willing to spend a first level spell slot or stand there for 10 minutes performing a very obvious ritual.
You're killing
Well, it
her.
sounds like the conversation is
Like,
long, so 10 minutes won't be a problem.
So Rerek just starts casting a spell in the back.
Well, why don't we lower our weapons first and try to figure out how you ended up all the way over here?
All right, I'll tell you, but I'm not lowering my weapon.
And nor
Well,
I.
As much as I'd love to see a little bloodshed,
All of you put down your weapons and I will talk.
Lark points towards the lizard man whose name he doesn't know, and he's going like, "Darling, you realize you're horribly outnumbered here, and if you look around, we are in sort of a haunted graveyard, so I don't think bloodshed's the smartest thing to do."
I
in
may
any
be
of our
outnumbered,
circumstances."
but you are outclassed. I am a lizard man of immense power. I
Shut
am-
up, stop moving. I'm trying to do something.
This power and humility, I see.
Yes, and no
The sarcasm's incredibly helpful, Percy. Thank you.
of humility and no ego and a fantastic lizard man all around.
I said stop moving.
And none of that has provided me with any reason not to dismember you right now.
All right, that's it. Last time, everybody puts down their weapons and we'll talk.
By everybody, are you including yourself?
No.
That's what I had thought. Then I think I'll remain as I am. Thank you very much.
Asking for it.
Everyone stop moving. Thank you.
Look, I don't feel safe here. This place is spooky as hell. I don't trust any of you. I'm not putting down my weapon.
Then I should propose that you leave. With
I would
haste.
love to leave. I need to return to the military to finish my exercise. There was a terrible error.
This is the
And what
longest
business of
10
that is
minutes
ours?
of my life.
We'll say it goes off. So his armor definitely has a little bit of magic to it, a little bit of abjuration magic to it. But other than that,
Can
he
I
doesn't
not-
have anything.
Can I not like figure out that he was teleported there?
Actually, what does teleportation count as? Is teleportation technically an evocation
I think it's
spell?
Didn't I already say that?
It is.
Oh,
you know what? I
it's a
think actually you did.
conjuration. So
above
there
game.
would be some conjuration magic clinging to him.
He said that he did a ritual with his group, but he didn't say what kind. And I think he was teleported here by accident.
Bravo for him.
Yeah. So no. I'm too tired for this. So yeah, no need for a fight to happen.
How do I know this isn't part of my training? Maybe this was the intended place.
How the hell
You
would
guys are
I
my
know?
enemies.
Good point.
Well, I feel like you should know what your training would be. But
It was a team building exercise.
well,
Well,
some
if it
things
was a
come
team building
along.
exercise, a brick was misplaced
Why-
and put here.
Why don't if we all try for just 1 second to not kill each other, maybe we can
One.
work together. Maybe we can help you get back to where you need to go. Maybe you can help us.
Helping each other has nothing to do with my team building exercise.
maybe just saying that coming out of your mouth, you could realize some things. But
perhaps you're right. Strange. What are you?
a human.
Human.
Right.
He's the most normal looking of the party.
Of the bunch.
Aside from the plague doctor mask, like,
Well, he
which I
is.
assume in Gothia would be pretty normal.
Well,
Who's wearing the
he is a kobold.
Does he have a mask on or off?
What looks normal to him?
We can help each other. My party here is, well, we're up against some steep obstacles, and
Steep obstacles, you say? I find that hard to believe. Not to me, they won't be. Very well. We shall help each other. I shall build this team, and we shall slay whatever obstacles stand in your way.
How
And then-
fantastically noble of you.
And then you four will find a way for me to get home.
Agreed.
A bit presumptuous, don't you think? Agreed. On whose behalf?
Sure, my family could find some sort of mage.
I don't care for the
Can I-
small butterfly.
Can I whisper to? I'm the small butterfly, not him.
Oh, I'm
He
sorry.
is
I'm
the
gonna half out with the bow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna float over to Arthur's ear and just whisper into his ear and just be like, Arthur, look how much armor this guy has on. Now imagine that armor in front of the vampire in the crypt. Just play along for a little bit.
You didn't hear it.
Yeah.
I suppose, Arthur says, whispering, that if he does end up dying, that it would fetch a hefty price at market. And judging by his brash and so arrogant behavior, I imagine his skills are rather lacking. So that could work out for us, but don't expect that my bow will protect him from anything.
Right. Percy just kind of tries to walk over and try to kind of usher you towards the group. We're friends.
Friends, but no touching.
Percy, I'm Percy. Nice to meet you.
Bruno.
Y'all
Call
are
me
cute.
sir.
Y'all are cute. Let's go.
Call
Very
me
cute. Very cute. Let's go.
So Bruno, this is my family's estate. Sort of fall into. Have you heard of my family of the Kutzfalls? The family curse and undead and phone things.
No. Where am I?
Well, perhaps there you don't know. There's a vampire at the bottom of that church. We're gonna try to kill it.
Are we still in Caliburn?
Not even close. Welcome to Gothia.
It's quite cold here.
I've heard horrible things.
Most are true.
Roving
Very
packs
well.
of the
What were
undead.
you saying?
Well, right now, there's a vampire at the bottom of that church who's already done a bit of a number on my friend Arthur here. So
What's wrong with Arthur?
I think it should be fairly evident. There's like a bunch of like
He doesn't
just
just
covered
look
in
like that.
blood.
boils and stuff.
How did it just look like that?
No, I think traditionally half elves are rather well, healthy.
Why do you look like that?
So no, he's fallen under a bit of a sickness.
A thickness, you say?
Yes,
Well, I am a paladin.
Bravo.
that's incredible. Of what oath?
Vengeance.
Very well then.
Shocking.
Well, would you be able to?
It's not shocking, actually, if you'll notice my personality.
Right. Would you be able to help my friend Arthur out then?
Supremely disinterested, thank you.
Do you know? You're fucking covered in boils right now.
Sounds
Yeah,
like
I'm
he
growing
doesn't
to
want-
like them.
I don't want to help him. So maybe it's best if we just carry on.
Well, you can't blame me for trying.
Ever
you
the
would-
diplomat.
I can't. I don't have what I need to cure that right now.
So you're not a very good doctor.
Sure. Yeah, I guess I'm not.
Very well. Maybe the time will come where a cure will be necessary. But for now, we'll just carry it.
Right. Well, if you'll follow me into the church, then.
Show me this vampire. I wish to kill him myself.
Well, you can go in first.
Very well, I will.
For
I'll
once,
take it back into
I'm
the
in
church.
agreement.
That's
Arthur's going to bring up the rear.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you head back into the church, and it was, as it was before, the altar pushed back away from the large hole in the ground, the tons of ivy growing up across the ceiling and down onto the floor, the rotted pews, and the stained glass windows, which are still surprisingly letting in light. And I'm assuming you head down into the crypt.
This would be quite nice with a little care.
I hope so. And I kind of like fall back a little bit. And I kind of like, don't ruin this for us. We need all the help we can get.
Then let him help. He wants to go first. I don't see any reason why he
Yeah.
shouldn't.
So I go.
So you head down into the crypt. It's dark. Doesn't look like a lot of things have been disturbed.
So I summon my little boy.
I don't think we picked a damage type of
Oh, I fire.
fire. Okay,
So
great.
Naturally.
I say, Julius, some light. And he blows a little torch, a little to light the way.
Well, he wouldn't be able to keep it sustained, so he's just occasionally breathing
if we make
fire.
it down to like a central chamber area.
He can't just do like a little stream, like a little match.
No, it's not a constant exhale.
All right, he sneezes every couple seconds.
If we make it down to like a central chamber sort of place, I want to cast daylight.
So you do make it down to the base of the stairs, and it looks like there is a chamber with a hallway that leads off on either side.
Oh, okay.
And
So
you cast daylight. What are you casting it on specifically?
I guess I have like a cane. I guess I'll cast it like on the head of my cane.
So the light fills the room. And it isn't the prettiest crypt that you've ever been to. It at least has a stone floor that seems to be littered with bones. There are spaces in the hallways where there are bodies that have been put into the alcoves.
Beautiful.
Question.
Uh-huh.
Don't we have a torch in the inventory?
A torch?
I know I don't.
Oh, I thought someone took the one that we.
I have the light cantrip, but I'm doing daylight because there's a vampire.
So
down
yeah.
Yes.
Let's do that.
Yeah. Speaking of which, primeval awareness to see which direction he went.
It is going to the right.
Okay. So I'll share with the group. That nasty acid blood spewing monstrosity is that way.
I believe it went left.
Mhm.
Well, I think we can trust Arthur's instincts on this
I
one.
trust Julius. Julius seems to like the left.
Well, Julius seems very sweet.
He's very sweet.
But
Good boy.
wonderful. Why don't what if
He
we
seems
try
to be
right
scared.
first?
Very well. Try the right.
Your little tiny false dragon seems to be scared. That's why he's going that way. That's what it is.
Julius is a brave little boy. I would trust Julius with my life. In no reality is he scared. But very
Fantastic.
well. We'll try going. Which one?
Right.
Right.
Going right.
We'll try. I think
As you
Julius is onto
begin-
something.
As you begin to head right with the daylight spell, and it sails all the way down the hallway, you do hear the horrible scream that is very familiar to you, having had this thing face to face with you briefly before, confirming that it is indeed to the right.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
Maybe there's another vampire that way.
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah, I guess do some perception to see where it is.
Sure, give me a perception check.
I forgot our dice. I'll be right back.
I totally forgot that I have dark vision. Ha ha ha.
Same.
Most of us have dark vision except for Percy. And maybe Bruno now.
I think Lizardfolk do have dark vision, actually.
Yeah, we do.
But Triton don't, which is bizarre.
A what don't?
Triton, they're fish people.
Oh.
It's like they should because they live in the ocean.
But won't they be different from like abyss type of fish type of people?
Yeah, but it still gets pretty dark down there. It would make sense for them. But anyway, so perception check.
That's an 18 for me.
Oh, do we all do it?
If you want to.
I want to do it.
Lark got a 9.
like-
He doesn't notice shit.
For what? What does that mean?
See if you can see it.
17.
And then you add. I got a 2. You got a 2.
I'm not adding anything to that 2.
Well, altogether it's a 3. So
I don't think I noticed.
So definitely Percy. And Rerek, you got an 18? 17. Okay. It is cowering on the ceiling, just stuck to the ceiling with its arms in front of its face, crawling backwards towards a corner as the light goes down the hallway to the room that is at the end, where there are a few special looking alcoves that are actually arched and have very chipped away at frescoes that are so old and chipped and flaky that you can't see what they were, but it is cowering on the ceiling.
So much for hoping that it kills the metallic cur. Well, here goes nothing. Fire my longbow.
All right, give me an attack roll.
Come here, shotgun.
Hold on, I was muted again.
Okay. Oh dear.
Is it talking or something?
No, it's just hissing.
Oh, never mind. Kill the bitch.
Yeah. Actually, before I roll that attack roll, can I mark it?
Yes, you may.
Okay, Hunter's Mark. Sneak attack. Longbow. Okay, 22 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
Okay, and then we are gonna roll you. And you. 15, 5, 22 damage.
Woof. Yeah, you hit this thing, and once again, it shrieks in pain as the arrow just hits it right in the wrist as it's trying to block the sunlight that's coming through. And at that point, it throws its hands aside and once again belches and vomits in a 15-foot cone.
Jesus Christ.
So I would say the first 3 people in line are going to have to make a dex saving. Are going to have to make a Constitution saving throw. As I real quick roll up how that's happening. So I think if Bruno's going first, he definitely needs to make one. I don't know who's second and who's third, but they have to make a saving throw.
We'll bring it up the rear this one.
Yeah, Bruno, I'll probably be at the front too with my daylight spell.
Okay. So I think if you're concentrating on it, you'll need to make a concentration check.
I'll go third.
That would kind of make sense, you know, given you're flying, so you're like closer to it vertically anyway.
Yeah.
Unless
Um,
unless the ceiling's high enough that I could have gone further up where we're at.
Constitution save.
Constitution, yes.
Percy got a 22.
So that passes.
Lark got a dirty 20.
You got a 19.
Ooh.
Then you add. You also got a 22.
Ooh, 22 boys.
Seems to be the
All
lucky
right.
number.
I was 22
So-
once.
Sorry, I got a 21, not a 22.
Okay. Well, you all save. So you all take 10 points of necrotic damage, and I need everybody to roll initiative.
Done and done.
Keep track of your health.
Ooh.
45.
16.
11.
11.
Although I still have those 2 rolls that I did, and I used 15, so I want to use 13.
I got another 19.
Then you add your dex to it.
What's that?
You get a plus.
Well, I guess that would technically use your reaction for this
21.
round. So, Rerek. And who got what?
I got a 21.
21.
Did you get my 16?
Yes.
Okay.
So just, why do I have Lark on the initiative order twice? Oh, because I didn't write Percy. Wow, I am dumb.
Percy got a 5.
Lark got a 9, so we're
Oh.
bringing up the rear.
All right. So first up is Bruno. This thing is on the ceiling, but the ceilings are pretty low, so you could, with your height, probably hit it.
So first, scrolling. So I get like 2 turns because that's my thing.
Get 2 attacks.
Right.
2 attacks.
So I don't need advantage, right?
What?
I don't need advantage.
To do what?
I don't need it, right?
No.
Okay.
I mean, you don't need it. You can have it if you want.
But what does that do exactly?
It lets you roll twice and pick the higher number.
Oh, I thought it went priority. I think I go first.
No.
Okay. Should I do Aperture Enemy?
It'll probably fight.
No, I don't want to do that because we want to fight it.
We want to fight. Yeah.
I guess I'll do Divine Smite.
We have to hit.
Yeah.
And you can decide on a hit whether you're going to use it or not, so you don't technically waste it.
Oh.
So if you
okay.
miss, you're not spending it.
So you just use your flail attack. So roll a d20 and add 7.
Okay. 19.
So that's 26.
Yes, that hits.
Cool.
So I'm
then
gonna.
you roll 1d8.
Yeah.
And then you add your divine smiting.
Yeah.
So then if you're doing a level 1 divine smite, then you get to add 2 more d8s.
Okay, I'll do that. So I got a 3 plus an 8 plus a 7
Let's add your strength.
And then add your strength.
plus 5.
3 plus 8 plus what?
7 plus 5.
7 plus 5. Whoops. As I accidentally make that 52. So it's 23 points of damage to this thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Bop it.
You get 1 more attack.
And then I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah, so you smash your flail into this thing and it howls in pain as the divine energy blasts out and sears it, causing its skin to flake and peel.
You use 1 out of 4.
But do I want to use it again? Does it use another?
Yeah, Divine Smite is like your thing. You can use it every time
So
you hit.
You
I only
also
get
can
4.
You can also do these ones. So you actually have 6 in total. But these ones do more damage.
Yes. It's an extra D8 for every spell slot above first that you use.
Okay, well, I'll just divine smite again.
Well, we have to roll the hit first.
Right. Let's see if I hit. I got 14.
Plus 21.
Yes, that hits.
I'm gonna do it again. I got 8 plus 3 plus 7. I got the same roll again.
And then plus 5 for strength.
23.
It's another of the exact same thing.
Yes.
Do it again.
So you take another swing at it, hit it again, and it screams. This time you see a lot of its skin is flaking off. Its skin is hanging, burnt off of this horrible corpse that's still stuck to the ceiling.
So I'm also ordering Julius to bring some fire. Out.
Yes.
What do I do for that?
So he has to roll to hit.
What does Julius need to hit?
Um,
Got a 6.
Does Julius have any modifiers?
Whatever his sting, if you could pull up, I'm trying to quickly flip to the pseudo dragon because for audience, we changed some of the stats because I hate the sting attack. Pseudo dragon +4. Yes.
I got a 10. Does that hit?
No, that does not hit.
Oh, Julius.
As he kind of, you see almost this hesitation as it flies as Julius flies up towards this thing, and it hisses and he flies backwards a little bit, but the flames don't quite reach.
Julius wanted to go left.
So next up is Arthur.
I will refrain from making any comments about your courageous little dragon there. So, okay, no, the vampire did act, so no advantage on that. I'm just gonna fire the bow again. He is still marked. Actually, is anybody within 5 feet of it? No, I don't think so.
Yes, I believe, because Bruno was able to hit it.
Oh, right. Okay. Well,
so he is within 5 feet of it.
Good job ignoring him.
Cool. Yeah.
I was still expecting you to just go forward with it. Nope, there's no one within 5 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you wouldn't care anyway, right?
What to hit?
I feel like
15.
your character.
15? Oof. You fire the bow. The arrow sails as it's still thrashing and flailing. It sails right by its ear and hits the corner and drops to the ground.
Balls. You know, I should have used Zephyr Strike. And he is... Okay, I'm not moving. I'm staying right where I'm at. What's the distance situation, like the ceiling, where I'm assuming he's still at?
It's not very high. It's actually pretty low. It's like maybe an 8-foot ceiling. It's very low.
Okay.
Because it's a crypt. It doesn't need to be that high.
Right. Let me just check Jazz's jump really quick. Jump is half speed?
No, it's half strength score, I want to say.
Half strength. So that would be...
vertical is half your strength score. Forward is your strength score +1 or something like that.
Okay. Let me double check.
But she can probably leap up and bat it.
Yeah, I'm thinking just a claw attack.
Yeah.
Okay. So
she won't be able to get a pounce, and she won't be able to knock it prone, but she can rear up to her full height and just bat the thing on the ceiling.
Okay, well, that's a fail too. That was a 13.
As it's thrashing around, she goes to bat it and its arm knocks her paw away. This thing has surprising strength, but it looks like it's still holding on to whatever life has animated it. And is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, that'll be all for me and Jazz.
So next up is Rerek.
I'm gonna do a firebolt.
All right, roll it.
Double dead you. Oh, double dead it. Where's my thing? 13.
13 does not hit. You unleash the firebolt. It sails through the air, but once again, this thing is thrashing like crazy in pain. And you just miss it, goes under the arm and disperses across the ceiling.
You all are not clearly.
We're setting up bad impression.
So next up is Lark.
Lark's just gonna look at the rest of like the group he's been traveling with after the multiple whiffs and just gonna be like, oh dear. But in the back of his mind, he's just like, these fucking mortals. Why do I even bother?
This is what you've hitched your wagon to.
You should have hitched your ride with the lizard.
He's gonna cast an Eldritch Blast. Obviously, both beams at this thing.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 23 and a 21 to hit.
Both hit.
The fairy did it.
That's, oh shit. Okay, that's max damage on both. So that's gonna be 28 force damage.
Oof. Yeah. It's dead. You hit it with both beams, and the sheer force causes it to slam into the corner and then tumble down the wall. It's rags and skin hanging off of it like rags, tumbling down to the ground, hitting with a sickening crunch in a really odd position. Its limbs twisted over itself in positions you wouldn't consider a regular body to do as it lays still burning in the daylight.
Well shot, fairy butterfly thing.
You can call me Lark.
I will call you fairy butterfly thing.
Right.
Actually, you've proven your worth. I will call you Bark.
My
How
God,
generous.
you're annoying.
Emotional display over with. Can Percy do like a perception check? Because this is the bottom of a church. And he's naturally curious about this environment.
Sure. You can do a perception check. Anybody else who would like to do a perception check may do a perception check.
And
That's
also,
all
I want to go down the other path that we could go down just to see what I find.
Yeah, so we'll just say that you guys, since there's nothing else down here, Arthur's senses have not found anything else down here. You can just take a couple of minutes to do a walkabout and investigate things.
I'll keen smell it just for shits and gigs.
I'll give somebody the help action because, like, this isn't my bag of tea, my cup of tea, my bag of dicks. I don't know.
Not rolling well for perception. Do you want the help action? Lark's offering the help action.
What? For what?
So the help action would give you advantage on that roll, which would mean you
Like
can
do it
roll
again?
again, and whichever one is higher, you take it.
All right, Lark, if it was your name, I will take your help, kind butterfly. I got a 12.
So it's worse.
Worse? I got a 1 before.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a 13.
No.
So you had a 13. I got a 23.
Jazz's nose is 22.
Yeah, so you definitely smell a lot of cobwebs, a lot of
Unsurprising.
bones.
I'm looking in particular for stuff about like, oh god, I wrote it down in my notes. I haven't pulled up the two saints that this was dedicated to. This church.
Saint Cyrus and Saint Adeline,
Yeah.
I believe, are the two saints. A lot of the imagery and iconography and things down here have been worn away with time, or have just been smashed by this angry thing that has basically been running back and forth for who knows how long, stuck under this church. A lot of the stuff has been damaged. You don't see a lot of explicit iconography, but you do get the sense that there are some people down here who have had some kind of icon or image on like fabric or clothing or other such things. There were definitely a few people that were dedicated to one of the saints or both down here. Arthur, you actually find something down at the other end of the crypt. something glitters and gleams in what is left of the daylight spell that is burning at the other end while Percy is investigating. It's gold. In one of the arch niches in the wall, in the back of the room, there is a skeleton that has a golden helmet with dragon wings on it. And a gold chest plate with scales. Clutched in its hands is a golden bow.
Hot dog. Above game. Because that's a bit out of character for Arthur. All right, well, yeah, let's go check it out.
So it is clutched to the skeleton. So I'm assuming you just...
Yeah, just yoink. And
As
while
you-
I'm at it, might just take the rest of that armor too, because, you know, gold money.
Yeah. You pull the bow out of the hands and it feels strangely warm. For being in a cold crypt, it seems like this bow has been, it feels as if it's been sitting out in the sun for a little bit.
Mm-mm.
But as you
Okay.
turn to pick the rest of the armor off, you notice it's corroded.
The armor.
The armor is corroded. The shimmer and the
Interesting.
shine that was there is no longer there. It's just a skeleton in what is left of worthless, rusty, corroded metal. But the bow is unchanged.
Fascinating. All right. Rerek. How's about a little
Identify.
magic detection action? Or identify. Yeah, that'd be
I was
great.
gonna
if
use
you got that.
identify.
Yeah, that's a smarter
I
idea,
was a-
actually.
Mine's. I'm sorry. I have like so much energy right now. It's weird.
Flipping to the item.
What am I supposed to do for identify?
You can cast Identify. You can I think you can cast it as a ritual, so you won't have to spend a spell slot. It'll take 10 minutes, or you can just first level, and I think it takes a minute.
We can probably start walking out of the
Yeah. So
church basement.
ritual
Percy's,
is
like,
fine.
Solemnly tracing the walls with his hands, looking pretty somber at the remnants of his family's church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is a lot of history here, a lot of stuff that is so close to the surface, but still a mystery, only
Human
opening
word,
more
man.
fractal questions.
Why do you look upset?
Well, this is the ancestral home of my family. I'm a man of the cloth, and this was where my family would worship.
Yes, and perhaps it will be again one day. If a few little pesky vampires are all you need to eradicate, what's the big deal?
I have a very good feeling there would be something much worse waiting for us in the house.
Oh,
There's an infestation around this area, not just a
yes.
single.
Well, now you
vampire.
have Bruno, the elite captain, with you. So
Lucky
perhaps
us.
I wonder how many more of your ancestors we might find turned into horrible abominations against your
I
religion.
don't want to think about that.
Don't worry, we'll kill them all.
So I'll say
Damn,
that this
Lark.
is probably your Identify goes off. As you touch this golden bow,
I've touched the bow.
it's strange. It's like you feel there is more than the magic will let you find. A single beam of light in a dark room, shining upon a vast hoard. The bow is magical. It is related to dragons in some way, shape, or form, but there's a living aspect to it, as if there is a piece of something, some sort of draconic soul inside of it, and it does not want to be identified. It pulls away. There is much, much, much more to this bow than the bow itself will let on.
Well, shit. I'm gonna share that information to everyone.
Fascinating.
And why don't you
Let's
try
kill it.
shooting an arrow with it? What?
Not angry.
I would have said at what? Although
Well,
I do have some ideas about that, but I'll refrain for now. I think it's probably wiser that I just pack this away until we can get some more information.
well, I'm about experimentation and shooting it at something, or
I mean,
up ahead into the sky, whatever.
if this is like a magical weapon, shouldn't you take your time with it? Let it get to know you. I have a feeling, don't they tend to backfire on you if you don't spend some time with them?
That's kind of my theory. Yeah, I'll just hang on to it for now.
Was I supposed to know that?
Know
I
what?
don't know. I don't know how magical weapons actually work on D&D.
Well, you would definitely, your character would know because they're a wizard and they definitely went through the schooling. Magic items, particularly magic items with personalities, like being attached to certain types of people. And so
I think
it
the bow
doesn't
would
necessarily backfire unless it is attached to a person that
Someone else.
it doesn't like.
Let me try firing the bow.
Absolutely not. All right, well, can I like try to, I guess, attune to it for the next while we're walking about?
Yes,
That's advisable.
it'll take about an hour, but yes,
Okay.
you can.
What the hell?
All right,
So
that's what we're gonna do.
while that's happening, from here, it's just the path to the house, right?
We didn't check out
Yes,
the
it's the path to the gardens and the hedge maze. Or if you go the other way, you can go to the lake house and then around to the stables and the winery.
Okay. I feel
Oh,
like
the winery.
the hedge maze, just gut feeling, feel like it's gonna be really bad in there.
We can
Just-
burn the thing.
Just on the concept of being a haunted hedge maze.
Not to fear. You have Bruno with you.
Yeah. Bruno.
Oh, you keep saying.
Thanks. I have told you my name, I think 2 times. And
Very well.
They've been
Percy.
oddly close to each other since we started this
I don't know about that.
team 5-star.
I think we're becoming thick as thieves, Percy.
Well, I'm glad one of us has such strong feelings. But so, otherwise, I mean, the house is further down this path, or we could double back, head towards the lake house and the vineyard.
No sense in wasting time. I suggest we dispense with the diplomacy and just head to the house. Although, again, as you've mentioned, it's your estate, so your call.
Oh, it's probably about time to at least see the house.
Mhm.
During all the walking and the travel, do we get like recovery?
Like a short rest.
Yeah, I'll say that you get a short rest. And you also, because it is about an hour of walking, you do reach the hedge maze. You see over the hedges, there is a very large building made out of metal and glass that you would remember is probably the greenhouse.
Can I,
And-
if we're taking a short rest, and because I'm a warlock, can I burn a warlock spell slot to regain another sorcery point and then get my spell
Yes.
slot back?
Yes.
Can
Short
Lark
rests
just,
are a
like,
thing I like taking.
solve the hedge maze?
I'm
Also,
not worried about making
um,
it through.
I'm gonna
Like the
spend hit
maze
die
itself, I'm not worried about. Like it's whatever magical buffoonery is going on that I'm sure we'll encounter.
Do I regain just the hit die or the hit die plus my constitution modifier?
You don't regain hit dice on a short rest.
I thought you could regain, or
Yeah,
you regain the hit
you
points
can.
by spending the hit die. I'm asking, do I
Yeah.
regain just the hit points I rolled, or do I also add my con
Oh.
modifier to that?
Oh, I thought
Hit
you were
die
talking
plus
about
con.
regaining the hit die, not spending them. Yeah, you can spend them.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So I regain 11 hit points. I'm back up to full.
Yay.
I regain hit points.
If you use your hit dice, you can also use arcane recovery.
Can I do that?
Just declare it, and then you regain an amount of spell slots
Declare.
equal to half your level, provided none of them are 5th level or higher, I think. So since you're level 5, that would mean that you could gain either a 2nd level spell slot and a 1st level spell slot, 3 1st level spell slots, or 1 3rd level spell slot.
You have these
I don't remember what I've used.
Uh-oh.
of 5d10 plus your
I think you did what,
I
two
did the
two first levels? Because one was for Firebolt and the other one was
No, Firebolt is a
Fireball, just a
cantrip.
catnip.
Oh,
Cantrip,
okay,
catnip.
It's a catnip.
first one
It's a catnip.
plus
Excuse me. It's the
it already puts you at max again.
cantrip.
was
I
just one
used
then.
excuse me.
You guys are
Sorry. Magic missile at some point.
Yes, so that would have been a 1st level, unless you upcast that one.
Don't think
What
you
does
did.
upcast mean?
If you cast it with a 2nd level or a higher spell slot to
Mhm.
increase the number of darts.
Oh, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't think you did.
So yeah, I think you might have only spent 1 spell slot, so you can just get it back.
hmm
Okay, so Arthur, you have attuned to this bow.
Oh.
And as you do, for a moment, you feel as though there is a great shadow spreading over you in the shape of a dragon. And you feel the hot breath on the back of your neck for a moment as you grip this bow. You have a dragon wing bow. So when you hit with an attack roll, the target takes an extra 1d6 of the same type of breath weapon infused in the bow. It's going to be fire. And if you load no ammunition to the weapon, it produces its own, automatically creating 1 piece of magic ammunition when you pull back the string. The ammunition created by the bow vanishes, and it'll just do 1d6 fire damage. Additionally, this seems to have other properties. You get the sense as you hold it that this weapon is waiting for something to happen. It is waiting for more of its power to be revealed. And there is an additional property. Whenever you roll a 20 on your attack roll with this weapon, each creature of your choice within 5 feet of the target is dealt 5 damage, so 5 fire damage. But that's only when you roll a 20.
Okay.
And that's what this bow does. But you do get the sense that there is more. And the longer you spend with this bow, the more heroic acts you do with this bow, the more rapport you gain with this bow, the more powers it will grant you.
Okay. I'm down. Let me see if I can find that in Beyond really quick so I can get rolls for it and stuff. But continue, carry on.
All right. So you do reach the hedge maze. It is made of tall hedges. The leaves have turned orange. It has grown absolutely wild. Vines creep across the ground. Fences seem to have been ripped down from the strength of many vines wrapping over them and stick out of the hedges at odd angles. It also seems to have clouds of pollen that move between the hedges, giving a strange yellowish fog, and it smells weird. It does smell like leaves, but it also smells like something else. Rotting, moldy, perhaps. It's disgusting. And these hedge mazes are huge. This is like Castle Versailles size hedge maze. As you walk, you also notice there are occasionally pedestals with very large gargoyles sitting on top of them that rise up above the hedges, and they sit and stare down. And occasionally, as you're looking back and forth, you swear they change position.
Mm.
So what would you all like to do?
Can I primeval awareness for a second? Scan undead.
Surprisingly, there is no undead in the hedge maze, or in the area that you think that the hedge maze is in.
Minor
There are others
consolation.
closer to the house. There are others farther from the house, of course, in the graveyard and beyond. But there don't seem to be any in the hedge maze itself.
Keen smell.
Give me a perception check with advantage.
Okay, let me go back to my character page. Loading. Okay, keen smell is 19. Okay. Whew.
Yeah, she definitely smells a lot of rot and decay and mold, as well as the leaves and the vines and other things like that that have withered and dried up. But definitely there is a foul stench of mold.
Okay.
I might say to Lark, oh, Lark, you're the closest thing our group has to a naturalist, and you're a fairy. Does this look like any sort of fae thing to you? There's pollen and things. You came out of a flower. I don't know.
Would I recognize? Is any of this familiar to me, Spencer?
Probably not. This sort of rot and decay is not really something. It happens in the Feywild, but the magic that permeates the Feywild shifts and changes in ways that it would not be replicated on the material plane.
Yeah. I mean, I figured if Lark's just going to cast Druidcraft on some of the hedge maze, see what happens briefly, see if he can change it at all or do anything to it.
It does seem to, the leaves unfurl a little. It changes to a more green color in a similar way to the leaves outside of the house, outside of the hedge maze look. It's green, but it's still that sort of green of Gothia, where it's not vibrant, it's not lush, but it's green. There is not any magic that is preventing them from growing. It is just no one has taken care of them in a long time.
Okay. So Lark's just going to look towards Percy and be like, Percy, the plants that grow on your mortal plane are shallow reflections of where I come from. The best I can tell is that these poor things haven't been taken care of in years. And I've no sense any of my kind have approached this, at least this hedge maze, ever, based on how pathetically disgusting it looks.
Well, I think the gardener's been out for a while. All right.
Nothing a little elbow grease can't fix.
Right. I'm sure you're an expert gardener as well.
Yes.
Or some fire breath.
Well, what do we think, boys? Should we head in or keep on towards the house?
You do have to go through the hedge maze to get to the house if you go on this road.
Well, I thought the road would. What an efficient way of constructing this place.
Only
It's
way
not
out
so
is
much
through,
of like,
so.
it's not so much of like, haha, you have to go through twists and turns, but there's like a wide sort of highway that goes through it
Yeah.
and some that go off to the side. And there's probably a big square in the center of the hedge maze.
Cool.
So people could just walk straight through the hedge maze without actually having to do the maze part of the hedge
That's not a
maze, but
very
there's
good
certainly
maze.
a lot of area to do the maze part of the hedge maze.
So what time is it right now?
It's probably getting a little bit later in the
Yes,
day.
I don't want to be in here at night. Definitely not being in there at night.
We're here now, so.
You could probably make it to the actual house by nightfall, but it's getting close to maybe 4:30.
But then, like, where would we sleep? Because there's like it took us a whole day to like make the carriage house safe to sleep in. And the house, I can only imagine, will be so much worse.
One could presume, yes.
How far are we from the lake house if you want to rest there?
You could probably make it to the lake house before nightfall, but not very far from nightfall.
What if we digged a trebuchet?
What?
Am I
You
using
mean a trench?
bivouac.
Trench?
A bivouac. And we made a little cover
Isn't
up.
that like a
That's
giant
an artillery
sling?
weapon.
That is a siege weapon.
Well,
And you're supposed to be a soldier?
a
an
bivouac.
elite? An elite.
What if we dug a little bivouac place to sleep?
You want
In
to dig a
his
hole
family's
now to sleep
hedge
in it?
maze.
Yes.
We have beds.
Yeah.
We can just go back to the carriage house.
Oh, well, I didn't know.
I know,
that.
above game, is anybody's like HP like low enough that it would warrant a
I
long
think
rest?
you're the only person who's had their HP removed.
I'm at max right now. I mean, my
Okay.
max has been lowered, but I am at
Yeah.
max.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I want to fix you.
Oh my god.
You're
I'm
yet
my
to prove your
max.
worth to me.
I'm
And you
not
wouldn't
so
let me
sure I
fire
have
the
any
bow.
desire for your fixing, so.
Right. So we'll just carry on.
I'm 8 below my max.
Cure disease spell slots
That's
because we don't want to fix the things.
Okay.
I think we can head back towards. I mean, we can try to deal with the lake house tonight. Does that sound good, or do we want to go to?
Sure. I honestly have no preference.
Let's go to the lake.
Lake house it is.
Very well. Follow me.
I'm sorry,
Do
what?
you?
I have the map.
What?
I have Julius.
What is your alignment? What the fuck?
What?
Chaotic dickhead.
It's even more annoying than me, and I'm lawful neutral.
So you all turn heel after looking at the gigantic hedge maze and head back past the graveyard and the now definitely quiet chapel to the crossroads and continue walking.
Okay, we've taken care of two buildings, guys, like that are all good now. That
How many
Yay.
buildings?
progress,
How many buildings are there?
like a lot, but
From
still.
my perspective, each building we clear before we head into the main house leaves less a chance that things come crawling at us from outbuildings later.
Very true. Very, very, very wise. Very good point. So, let's keep at it.
We can grind out here first before getting in there.
Your optimism is unsettling.
It's either this or heaving, racking my body sobs. So, take
I
your
think I'd prefer that.
It's all right, Percy. Your girlfriend will write you soon. We only left town a day ago.
You all love this joke so much.
Explain the joke to Bruno. Bruno doesn't get the joke.
When Bruno says that, Lark's just gonna fly over to him and be like, "Oh, Percy's dating history is quite fascinating."
Oh my God.
There's
Let's
an
all
doing
sit
this
down
now.
and have a talk about Percy's dating history. If I'm going to be adventuring with you guys, I need to know Percy's dating history.
Why haven't we
Oh,
talked
so
about any
you've
of your
decided
dating
to
histories?
adventure with us now.
There seems to be a tiefling cleric whose idea of servicing his population puts a big emphasis on servicing. And
Oh, she said.
well, we all ship him currently, as the mortals might say, with this sexy vampire lady
She's
who
not sexy. She's horrible.
Show me
She's
the vampire.
arguably pretty sexy.
She's horribly sexy.
I can't.
she has
Are we
contact-
anywhere near the carriage house? or the lake house?
You've passed the carriage house. As you are getting closer to the lake house, you notice that there is more vegetation, and now there are actually nature sounds again.
What?
There are insects and more insects, and you realize it's just insects. Lots of
For a meal.
insects.
That's comforting.
Oh my God.
Yes. The air fills with the sound of buzzing and chirping of various insects, and also the croaking of frogs. There seem to be more puddles of water, more vegetation that grows out onto the actual road itself. And before long, you get to a point where there is clearly the lake has flooded and then receded, but has left vast, wet mud, puddles of water. And you see off in the distance a house tilted at about 15 degrees. Its chimney
Exactly.
weirdly almost balanced on its edge as it sits. And surprisingly, it has lights on
Oh my God.
that
Alright.
Is it Baba
reflect
Yaga?
off of the lake.
The
Well,
whole
I mean, at
building
least
is
there's
leaning?
something to eat. Anybody up for frog legs or?
I am.
I'm still a vegetarian.
So someone's in there.
Be in that house that has enough intelligence to turn on a light or light a match or whatever you have.
Quite literally pick any number of possible answers.
Ugh.
Do your undead sense. Is it undead?
Yeah, well, I suppose we'll see.
They wouldn't need to eat.
True. Or have any desire for light, I imagine. But yeah, I'll concentrate on primeval awareness.
There is surprisingly no undead near the lake.
Okay.
Anywhere in this
how
area?
how far are we from the house?
It would probably take you a bit to get to the house, maybe half an hour, but you can see it.
Okay.
Um,
Keen smell. Just why not?
All right, give me a perception check.
23.
A lot of insects, a lot of stagnant water, a lot of frogs.
Okay. Well, while we're here, just, I imagine Jasmine's kind of slightly interested in the frogs. She's a bit peckish, so she decides she's going to eat one.
Someone's banging on something. Okay, this neighborhood's weird. Anyway, so as she is happily chasing and pouncing and smashing a frog and gobbling it, you do hear a strange exchange of ribbits that sound almost like a conversation. And you hear movement off in the trees, strangely like people walking.
Mm-mm.
And you turn to look and you see, surprisingly, in ragtag armor, a group of frog people with spears walking through the woods, seemingly on patrol. They
Ready
have
my
not
bow.
spotted you next. They have
That
not
is so
spotted you yet.
cute. That is so cute.
They are surprisingly people height as well.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah. Just yep, ready the bow. I don't like that. I don't like any of that.
Do any of us recognize what these things are?
can I comprehend their language?
Well, you could if you cast the spell. And Lark, actually, give me a nature check.
Here we go. Here we go.
Man, I was ready for a Studio Ghibli scene.
Oh,
Walking frogs.
now this might surprise you, but I'm a Warlock sorcerer, so I have 0 invested in intelligence. That's a flat
Yeah.
11.
Well, with an 11, you would know that there are a few different types of frog people, and there are definitely frog people in the Feywild. These
Oh,
are known
oh my
as bullywugs.
I have the tongue spell prepared.
What is that?
I'm gonna cast tongues on myself. That lets me speak any language, right?
Oh yeah, people perceive you as speaking their own language.
Do I understand
think.
what they're saying? I need to read the
I
spell. don't-
think so. I think it works both ways, but it only works on you.
For comprehend language.
Well, comprehend language
I-
only allows you to hear
to
their
understand,
language. To understand, you cannot speak it back.
Wow.
Yeah, I think tongues is pretty much just the higher version of comprehend languages because it also lets you speak it back.
Yes.
Oh, it apparently also lets us understand.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, hang on. This spell grants the creature you touch the ability to understand a spoken language. Moreover, when the target speaks. So like if you're casting it on yourself, we'll understand what you're saying to them.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast
Yeah.
tongues on myself.
All right. Ooh, and it's not concentration. That's nice. Yes, you can cast tongues on yourself.
Sweet. What
And
them
it's-
ribbits say?
So it seems they're simply just shooting the shit, talking about just, I had such a hard day. I had to clean the stables. Yeah, I had to do that last week. Ugh,
Can I make
so
like an
gross.
insight check just on the basis of like, if I approach them, will they shoot me?
Yeah, you can make an insight check.
Insight. That's gonna be a 16.
They have weapons, but you get the sense that they probably won't kill you instantly. They'll probably try and apprehend you.
Okay. I guess I'll relay. So they're just patrolling. They live here and work here. I feel like they'll probably apprehend us at first, not kill, but I wouldn't care to be apprehended.
I'm not afraid of them.
And we don't. Hopefully, we can work this out peacefully. Should we approach them or maybe go to the house? What do you guys think? Go to the lake house.
I mean, I'm curious to know why there's random frog people patrolling what is ostensibly your house.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Maybe you're the king of those frogs. I don't know.
Maybe
Yeah,
they
Caliburn, we don't take kindly to home invaders.
Yeah, that's my worry.
I say we go over there and fuck them up. It's your house, human Percy.
Well, maybe they could prove to be allies.
Well, if they prove to be allies, then they'll prove it.
All right, I
And
guess
if they don't,
Um,
we'll be eating frog stew.
Percy, can you help me talk to them, perhaps?
that is my only last second level of their level spell slot.
Oof.
I only have 2 and the other one was daylight. So
Uh-huh. So, what are we doing, Percy?
We could
They're getting closer, so
come back
Decision
tomorrow
time.
and then Lark could talk to them, or
Go to the bathroom.
or we could just shoot the shit now.
Your house, your rules.
Do we know how many of them are there?
Yeah, how many?
I'm gonna say there's about 5 of them.
Okay.
How funny, there's 5 of us.
Oh no.
Javelin.
Team 5-star.
Okay. If I cast calm emotions on them before I approach them, would that give me anything?
Possibly.
Cast Divine Smite.
I need to read if that will like let them know if I cast it on them though, because I don't want that.
Oh yeah.
You can always just burn everything down. 2 of them are outside, right?
Calm emotions.
What are their positions? Do we know?
They're kind of walking in a cluster, not a line, but just like some of them are hanging back a little, some of them are hanging up front a little bit, and they're just kind of
Like a
talking to each
squad.
other. Yeah.
It doesn't say anything about them knowing if I cast it on them. So I think I want to cast calm emotions on this group of frogs.
I think they
I
have to
mean,
make a saving throw.
Yeah, it is a charisma saving
So let me
throw.
pull the stat for this thing.
Would we
out.
still need to be able to communicate with them anyway?
Percy can talk to them for the next hour, I think.
Yeah, I can.
Is it a wisdom save? It's a
It's a
wisdom save.
charisma save.
Charisma save. Ooh, these things have awful charisma.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Have to beat a
that one.
15.
One almost passed if it didn't have a -2. That one would have passed if it didn't have a -2. So wait, I forgot one. Yep, they all fail. They all
Hell yeah.
fail because they have terrible charisma.
Okay.
And
then
you
do
do,
the
as you
guys
cast
be
the
chill?
spell, seems like their shoulders kind of relax a little bit and they kind of slow down their walking.
I turn to you guys and like, chill vibes, everyone. No attacking them. We're just gonna talk. And then I walk up to the frogs. Hi, excuse me.
They turn and look at you a bit surprised, but they don't ready their spears. They just kind of stand there as if they've met up with another squad.
Yeah.
And they kind of look at you a bit funny and they go, one of them just kind of goes, "Speak our language."
Oh, I can do some magic. And I performed. I magically talk to you.
Ah, yes, magic. We have some of that. Not here.
Wonderful to meet you. My name is Percy. These are my traveling friends.
Ah,
We're friends.
yes, I see. None of them were frog people.
No,
I'm close.
You can't understand.
Yeah, you're just hearing ribbits. And interestingly, as Percy speaks, you hear him say the words in common, but on top of it, you also hear ribbiting, as if he's making ribbiting sounds.
That's unsettling.
What's riveting?
Like a frog sound.
No,
You have frogs in Gyptia.
No, I was saying riveting.
Oh.
Saying riveting? Like it sounds riveting?
Okay.
Oh my god, forget what I said.
So
This is going well.
I continue. Well, we came here because this house, these buildings are a part of a lineage of my family.
So you
and,
are related to Queen Croak? Weird. You are a human.
we're gonna circle back to that. But well, I guess I'm just curious about how are all of you here? This is a very inhospitable place.
This has been our kingdom for quite some time now, many generations.
Oh, that's fascinating. Me and my friends here are working in other sections of the estate, trying to cleanse it of the evils and undead that are there.
Yes, it needs much cleansing so that it can be once again reunited under Queen Croak. And all of them kind of do like a salute. Hail, Queen Croak.
Yes, Queen Croak. Would it? I know it's quite late. Definitely, we can come back another time if that would be better. I would love to meet this Queen Croak or just any of your other friends and family here.
You can only understand them for less than an hour.
I'm working.
Yes, we can take you to Queen Croak. Queen Croak would like to meet allies who are willing to liberate the other parts of this world for Queen Croak.
Right, for Queen Croak. Of course. Could we head there now?
Yes, it's almost time for the executions.
Oh, the executions.
Yes.
I'm sorry, the what?
How lively. Who's being executed, can I ask?
Traitors to Queen Croak and her new rule.
Right. Oh dear. Well, let's go.
Who's being executed, Percy?
Traitors to the queen.
Are we traitors to the
Where
queen?
are we going?
Who is Queen Croak?
Yeah,
Probably a dead queen.
we can start walking.
Yeah.
What can you tell me of Queen Croak? What is she like?
Well,
She croaked.
she is our new queen. She has taken over from the old regime. She overthrew them because they were not powerful and they were lazy and they did not want to liberate the rest of the house and the rest of the world. And so she took over. This is a good thing.
These frogs talk really
Of
cute.
course.
Is Percy translating any of this for us?
Yeah, so Queen Croak she took over from the previous regime because they weren't powerful enough, and they were lazy apparently, and now she's trying to take over the estate and the world.
Ambitious.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I guess we'll have these frogs lead us, I'm assuming, to the lake house.
Yes. Yes, they do lead you to the lake house, and you see as you get closer, they have made houses. They are surprisingly well constructed, being mostly constructed of branches and mud and things of that nature. They have surprisingly made nice looking homes. These frog people are wearing clothes. They've managed to make clothes. And there's a whole village around this lake house that you didn't see before. There are tons of frog people, bullywugs kind of walking around. And you get the sense that there's like an air of nobility to them all. They're all wearing fancy frocks and fancy dresses and fancy hats. It looks like it was scraped together from something, possibly what they found in the lake house, and it's just been passing down or something of that nature. But there's definitely an air of these are very noble people, or they believe that they are noble. They also have big frogs that they ride on, some smaller frogs that they also ride on. And there are a lot of people that are traveling towards the lake house along with you guys. And you see lit to the side of the lake house is a ramshackle, what looks like executioner's block, where people would be beheaded.
Right. And I would assume this is where the executions take place.
Yes, a lot of them have taken place.
Right. How exactly have these traitors betrayed Queen Croak?
Lots of ways. They will read the charges before they are executed.
Wonderful. You've all been very helpful. Thank you so much.
You do see the other frog, the other bullywugs that haven't had the calm emotions cast on them are kind of looking in your direction, but they also see that you have like a retinue of frogs around you. So
Yeah.
they're not saying anything, but there are some looks that are being given.
Yeah.
I give a few looks back.
No. No, you don't.
Do you recognize the kind of look these frogs make?
You can make an insight check if you'd like.
Can I also insight check? Lark's especially insight checking because he has literal insect wings on his back in a village full of giant monsters.
They be hungry.
I'll insight as
Sure.
well. If you want to.
For what?
Holy shit, that was really bad throw. That was
Uh-oh.
a 4.
I only got a 10 total.
Percy got a 17.
Well, Percy would know, looking at them, that they do have a little bit of fear. They are
Okay.
not
Are there some like murmurings among the crowd of what the
it
outsiders are
seems like it. They
I
are a
mean-
bit afraid. They are kind of giving you and your group a wide berth. There's also confusion.
I mean, there are
Um,
2 gigantic dragon people. Or lizard people.
there is a lot of murmuring going on. There are a lot of mixed emotions going through people's faces as you kind of approach this throng of people standing around this sort of giant executioner's block.
I'll be like, guys, just be chill. They're scared of us and nervous, so let's just try to be normal.
Normal. Mhm. Yeah. What the hell are we doing here?
Our best.
Great.
We're trying to rest is what it was.
So are we like being positioned to watch the execution now?
Yes, you are.
And I'll be like, so we'll be meeting with the queen after the executions then?
Yes.
Wonderful. Just making sure.
And they kind of nod. And at that moment, there is the sound of a trumpet. Do, 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 do. And the back door of the house opens up, and out comes a bullywug with a robe and a long scroll, followed by 2 what look like knights. They have armor on, and they're also frogs. And then almost like a sedan chair, 4 really muscly bullywugs carrying these poles that have been ramshackled and tied to this huge cauldron filled with this sort of green murky water and lily pads, and sitting in it is a very, very large frog wearing one of those powder curl wigs and jewelry that seems to have been tacked on to the crown. And this wig, you presume this is probably Queen Croak. And following is another pair of these knights in armor. And they set this cauldron down. And this tinier looking frog in sort of what looks like some sort of maid's uniform, runs out and holds out a tray and kind of ducks her head. And on this tray are these very large worms that the queen reaches over and begins putting in her mouth like hors d'oeuvres. And
Disgusting.
it is very
As people are
gross.
talking Percy. We can assume Percy's translating for the group.
Yes. Getting up onto the executioner's block is another incredibly tall, incredibly muscled frog in a black hood with a giant axe. And the frog with the scroll gets up onto the executioner's block and goes, "Today, we are executing more traitors to the regime of Queen Croak. I will read off the charges. They will be allowed to defend themselves, and then Queen Croak will deliver the verdict, and they will be executed. I will be presiding over this execution. I, Judge Mordecai Dupond. So, the first execution is Lady Amelia Annette Boyle, charged with being related to a seditious figure." And this bullywug is led on stage once again by two very big knights who then force her to kneel in front of the executioner's block and lean forward. And you see the queen just simply putting more worms in her mouth, almost not even looking, just goes, "How do you plead?" And this woman goes, "Not guilty, not guilty. You are guilty." And she pushes, the frogs push her forward, and she goes, "No, no, no," before the executioner frog just cuts off her head. And there is a smattering of golf claps from the other bullywugs in the crowd before her head and her body are picked up and hauled off. And Judge Mordecai Dupond comes back on the stage and opens back up the scroll. The next is Duke Charles Henry Boyle, charged with being related to a seditious figure and harboring a seditious figure. And once again, the same rigmarole happens. He's brought up on stage. The queen asks, "How do you plead?" Of course, they plead not guilty. She declares them guilty. Off with their head. They then go through Duchess Dahlia Esmeralda Cecilia von Muck for creating and distributing seditious art. And then you see Judge Dupond put down his scroll and pull out a new one, open it up, and it drops to the ground. And he goes, "Next up is the execution of Zug," and you hear "boo" from the crowd as all of these people just start booing. "For 3 counts of attempted assassination, 12 counts of aggravated assault, 26 counts of assault with a deadly weapon, 4 counts of smuggling, harboring seditious figures, distributing seditious art and propaganda, conspiring against the crown, 7 counts of blasphemy, distribution of weaponry for the purpose of revolt, espionage, tampering, trespassing, and breaking and entering." And he leaves the stage as these huge muscle frogs bring up this tiny itty bitty little frog who is a poison, who is clearly very different from the other frogs. The other frogs are very toad-like, green, sort of that sort of color. This is a red poison dart frog who, the way that they're carrying him, he can't even get his feet on the ground. He is kicking and he's going, "You'll never take me alive, you motherfuckers. You'll never take me alive." Before finally they put him down on the executioner's block. And she goes, and the queen just goes, "Execute him."
Oh my god,
And
I want that frog. No.
the executioner comes forward with his axe, swings, and you see the frog kind of pull his head back. The executioner takes another swing, pulls his head back, and then the executioner just throws down his axe, picks up the executioner's block, and you see the muscle frog's back up before just smashes him with the executioner's block and walks away. And Judge Mordecai comes back up on stage and just that is the end of today's executions. Other prisoners will be executed tomorrow. If there will be any executions, long live Queen Croak. And the other bullywugs go, long live Queen Croak.
This will be very bizarre for all of you.
I try
And
imitating
then
the crowd.
the trumpet is blown once again. The frogs pick up Queen Croak, turn, march back through the back door of the lake house as the other bullywugs just begin to disperse as if nothing had happened.
Poor frogs.
And your frog retinue does go, it is time to meet the queen. She'll meet you in the throne room.
Wonderful. We'll head there now.
And they lead you through the back door, holding the door open for you. And you walk into...
I just like turn as before we walk in, like, be ready for anything.
So they lead you in through the back, where there seems to be a large dining room, but the house is flooded with about 3 inches of water. There are lily pads growing everywhere. There's ivy growing up the walls, as well as what appears to be large sort of bioluminescent sacs that are growing from flowers, drooping down, that's giving the light in this house. And they lead you into the kitchen that seems to have been repurposed as the throne room. Most of the stuff is still there, the pots and pans hanging, the various items on the counter, but they are covered with ivy and other things. And it seems the pot has been placed back in what would be the fireplace, which is a very large brick fireplace, which has been decorated with makeshift banners and is clearly the throne in the throne room. And the queen is still snacking on more grubs by this maid who is holding a tray above her head.
Does the maid look scared?
She does look a little scared.
Okay.
And they lead you in, and one of the bullywugs goes up and kind of kneels, and then the queen kind of nods, and he gets up and he whispers something to her, and then splat, 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 walks back to you. And she goes, visitors, you may step forward. Of course, Percy's the only one who can hear this. It's just weird riveting.
Just like gesture at everybody to like walk forward.
And she's still just shoving huge grubs in her mouth.
Yeah. Like, good evening, Your Grace. My name is Percy Kreutzwald. These are my companions. We've recently come back to these lands in an effort to expunge the undead and the evils that lie in the forests and buildings. And we were rather surprised to find you and your kingdom here. So I was just so happy to see that there were others working against the evil here as well, and I wanted to make your acquaintance.
Of course. And she just continues eating grubs.
How exactly did you all come to find this place?
We have been here for generations. This is our castle. These are our lands, and we do plan on taking them back. It is nice to see that you are willing to assist us in that goal.
Of course. Well, could you give us any insights into how you fared?
The graveyard has proven quite difficult. We have sent a foray into the house, but they have not returned. We'll send another foray soon.
Right. Well, I'm hoping this could be the beginning of a working relationship here between my group here and your people to sort of work together to purify these lands.
Yes. Of course. Well, it was lovely to meet you, and it was lovely for you to render your services unto my glorious crown. However, I have many grubs to eat and many more prisoners to execute, so please take your leave.
We need lodging. Ask her for lodging.
And should I even do that? I don't would you my companions and I are finding it rather difficult to find hospitable lodges here. Might you have recommendations or services we could find?
Well, we do have an inn that you may stay at.
Oh, wonderful. We shall head there now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she kind of just makes a shoe
Yeah.
motion, still
just
sitting in
nod,
her
like,
vast,
usher
her
everybody
big
in.
vat.
Apparently there's an inn. Who could possibly be staying at it? Yeah, I guess I'll try to find the inn. Is there like a building labeled inn or something?
There
Maybe
is
Croak.
not.
Wow.
There is not a building labeled inn.
Cool.
It seems there aren't a lot of signs up. There's a
Do you think-
possibility that Bullywug does not have a written component,
Okay.
or at least not a written component that they care to put on signs.
I guess I'll just find a whoever's around and ask them.
Yeah, before your
They
thing
do
runs out.
point you over to a sort of mound, a very large sort of hill that has once again, a sort of, it does actually look like architecture, like somebody put thought into this. A sort of sticks and mud front to what is probably a hole that goes directly into the hill.
So, just based on what I'm seeing here and the vibes I'm picking up, do I think there's gonna be like beds in there, or are we gonna be like sleeping in mud?
Oh dear, I doubt.
There is a possibility that you'll be sleeping in mud. You don't know the sleeping accommodation of what these creatures sleep in.
Okay. We can check it out at the very least. So I'll head inside and see what's in there.
So you do head in, and it seems to be kind of a cave setup where there is a person that is who's probably the tavern keeper of some description, feeding a bunch of these bullywugs who are kind of just sitting on the ground around a sort of bush that is growing more of these sort of bioluminescent berries and flowers and things of that nature.
There's no like furniture to speak of in here.
Not really, no. It seems they prefer just having like a log that they position as a stool or a log they
Cool,
position as
cool.
a bench. There are also sort of semicircular holes that have been dug with pools of water in them. They
Lovely.
probably sleep in the
Very
water.
homey looking.
Yes.
I think me and my friends might be looking for something else though. So we'll be back.
And I will say at this point, your tongues is probably about to run out.
Yeah. Well, I think I only have a few more minutes left here anyways, so how about we just go back to the carriage house?
Sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That
Sure thing.
Yeah, we'll walk back to the carriage house.
It is a bit of a trek. By the time you have watched the executions and have been guided in and that sort of stuff, the sun has set.
Yeah.
So it
I'll have the
is
light cantrip on.
dark. But with your light cantrip, you do manage to find your way to the carriage house.
That was just bizarre. I mean, what of everything I was expecting to be in this house, I cannot say a society of frog people was one of them.
How
You're
did you
related to
not know you had
that
a
thing.
society of frog people living?
Because
in
my
property?
family hasn't been here for hundreds of years.
Around 400 to 450 years.
I mean, obviously, that part of the state now belongs to those frog people, right? They're called
I mean-
bullywugs, by the way. I forgot to
Bullywugs.
mention that part.
Great.
Or you have relatives that evolved into that. I don't even know.
Well, I sure. I don't know. This
Do you have,
is
do you have a great uncle frog fucker?
yeah, sure
Is that
somewhere in
part
the
of the
Crystal
Crooksfall
line.
family tree?
No,
Okay.
yeah,
As-
this is. I mean,
yeah.
for the time being, I guess good.
As entertaining as all of that has been, I am exhausted. And without another word, Arthur just finds the nearest something that's even remotely soft and just collapses.
There are beds upstairs that are not monsters.
Just
Since it is a 2-story house.
Just gonna double check.
Yeah.
Can I do a
Perfect.
just from a distance, like a medicine check on Arthur to tell if whatever is ailing him will like go away with some rest, or do
A
I need to
medicine
prepare a
check
spell for it?
requires proximity and touch.
Well,
Um,
Arthur, let me look at that one last time.
Fine.
so you can make a medicine check.
Good. That is 22.
A lot of the effects have worn off. The burns and boils have started to heal and shrink. You get the sense that at this point, there isn't really anything you can do to kind of push it along to heal, except let him rest and maybe some water.
All right, yeah, I'll pour you a glass of water and put it next to you. Just rest up.
Yeah, that was my intention. Thanks.
Yeah, and I'll go find somewhere to crash also. I guess I'll probably like find whatever room is left. Like, and Bruno, I don't think anyone's in here yet. You can sleep there.
Very well.
There are definitely plenty of beds, or at least couches and armchairs and other things. Maybe a bit dusty, but you can crash for the evening.
Yeah.
One day this will be ship shape, Percy?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And go to sleep.
So before you all assumedly bed down for a long rest, is there anything that anyone would like to specifically do beforehand?
I want to do a vibe check.
You mean
That's only
you
within
have your
60
ability.
feet, correct?
Yeah, it's only up to 60 feet.
That's like as big as the house, right?
Probably.
Small house.
Small
That's a
house.
small house.
It's a carriage
it's a
house.
room.
It's not a small
This
house.
is a big carriage house.
Well, you can hit a few of the rooms.
Yeah.
Doesn't get the whole house, but you can hit a few of the rooms. You
I'll try
don't
to stay
sense
as close to
anything.
The middle of the house as possible.
Did we clear this place already? So there
Yes.
shouldn't be anything.
Well, double check it. You never know.
Okay.
Yeah, you do not sense anything within 60 feet.
Okay.
So as you bed down for a long rest, Percy, you definitely get nightmares.
Hell yeah.
You are once again standing in that gushing ocean of blood in front of the horrifying moon with many eyes and mouths. You are watching as the guts and organs writhe and undulate inside of your sister on top of the table, with your hands having just tried to dig through. You see the three very strange skeletal figures standing, staring, boring through into your soul. You see a tree hanging with decapitated heads of people that look a lot like people that would be family members. They're recognizable Kritzwald sort of facial features, and they're all laughing at you. And other various horrifying nightmares, tentacles, wings, dark, and stars. It is a very unpleasant evening for you. Rerek, you do have a interesting dream. You are once again standing in Gyptia in the middle of the night. The navy blue of the sky filled with stars. The colonnade with the capitals painted like beautiful lotuses, and the vast pool of water in the center of what is probably the magical university. And standing in front of you is a sphinx. Its tail wagging back and forth very slowly as it looks you up and down and nods approvingly and goes, "It is almost time." And the dream is over.
God damn it.
Arthur, you also have a visitation, although you're unclear of whether or not it is a dream or reality. You hear the creak of a door opening, and you see light spill down the hallway. You get up and walk towards the door and look out to see in the middle of the hallway is a freestanding door that is open. And you recognize the sign. It's the sign of the cuddly rat, of which you have been to before. You are muted, by the way. Coming to the doorway is, once again, the very recognizable, who you have dubbed Mr. Rat. His eyes moving in different directions as he goes, "Oh, what time is it?"
I believe it's nearly tomorrow.
"Oh, but which tomorrow?"
This one. I don't know. Tuesday.
"Ooh, I have something for you.
Oh,
Come on, come. And he sort of runs inside. The interior is not the same. It is rearranged. There are new items in various different states of array. It's still about the same size as the last time you visited it, but it's definitely changed a lot.
Mhm.
He comes back out with a bundle and he goes, "You have the bow." "Yes, the bow."
I have a bow. Yes.
"Is it the bow?"
I don't know. I
"Wait,
suppose.
how many times have you met me before?"
Just the one for me, anyway.
"Oh, yes, that makes sense. This is the last time I'm going to see you. Well, no. It's the last time I will see you. You'll see me more."
Okay. Good to know.
Wait, is that right? Oh! Here. And he opens up the cloth, and inside are 3 jet black metal arrows. Everything is made of metal. You'll know when to use these.
Thank you. I'll
Yes.
take that.
And then for a moment, he kind of... And as he does, he puffs out and he goes into his raven form once again. His feathers all up before he... Whew. Very dusty.
Gesundheit.
Oh, yes. Go. You have things to do.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Mr. Rat.
Go. And he kind of pushes you out the door and shuts the door behind you. And as you turn back, there is no door. The hallway's dark. And you are holding the arrows in your hand. The metal, strangely cold.
Okay. I guess I'll just kind of take those back to bed. Still not sure if this whole thing is a dream.
Yes. And the night passes with no more visitations, no more strange happenings. And I think this would probably be a good time to end this episode. So stay tuned to see what's going to happen next week. And I will see you guys, the players, in about 10 minutes.